Hey guys, James here, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this channel is all about sharing my lifelong love of cars with you guys. I'm actually a huge fan of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which I think are just a really big step in the evolution of car infotainment. This CX-30 came with wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is great. But one of you guys commented on one of my previous videos saying that, well, for not that much money, you can get a wireless CarPlay adapter to change your wired CarPlay system into a wireless one. So I went on Amazon and bought this thing to see just how well it works. In this video, I'll show you guys how it works, and at the end, I will let you know whether I recommend it and for whom. So the adapter comes in this really nice box here. You get the adapter itself, a short USB cord, and this user guide. Setting this up is really easy. In this case, you just plug in the USB cable into the device, and you plug this end of the cable into the USB port that you use for CarPlay. In the case of this CX-30, both the USB port under the HVAC controls and the USB port in the center console, they both work with CarPlay, so you can choose either one. And obviously the one in the center console is going to be more neat because your adapter is going to be tucked away. Then all you have to do is turn on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on your phone and connect via Bluetooth to the adapter. There's on the screen, it'll show exactly what it's called. It says here Mazda-6E13, so that's what you look for on your phone, and you connect that via Bluetooth. Once you do that, it's now paired to the device and it should connect automatically. So how well does this thing actually work? When I start up this car, it takes usually about 8 to 12 seconds for my phone to connect to CarPlay wirelessly. And that's actually pretty decent. Compared with built-in wireless CarPlay systems, it's a little slower than the GM systems. It's about the same as VW, Audi, and BMW in my experience, and it's faster than Ford. So the connection time seems to be right around average in my experience. As you're driving around, I would say that the performance is okay, and here's why. First off, there's a bit of latency as you are trying to control the interface. When you spin the dial or press buttons, there's just a little bit of lag. Now that in itself is not abnormal. Other wireless CarPlay systems, OEM ones, also have a little bit of latency as well. I would say this is a little bit more lag than average, however. But more seriously, something that I experienced was clipping of the audio. Maybe once every 20 or 30 minutes, the audio would drop for just a fraction of a second. It would stutter a little bit. For audiobooks, podcasts, it's totally fine. It's just with music, where you kind of expect that continuous musical experience, it is a little bit annoying to have it drop out every so often. And I know that that sounds bad, but it's actually on par with some of the systems that I've used in Audis and BMWs, sort of like last generation CarPlay systems. They also tended to stutter maybe once every 20 or 30 minutes. And this particular adapter allows you to pair multiple phones with it. So what happens if you do that? How does it prioritize? Intuitively enough, it prioritizes connecting to the last phone that was connected to it. And if that's not available, then it goes to the next one and on down the list. And that's fine, but here's the tricky thing. Let's say you and your partner often use the same car, and you are both riding in the car one day, and it connects to one person's phone, and you want to switch to the other one. It's actually really clunky to do so, and it takes a while for it to connect with the other phone. So this particular device does not handle that situation well, where you want to switch from one phone to the other. To be completely fair though, the OEM systems that I've used also really struggle with toggling between phones. It's kind of a janky process that I think Apple needs to work out. So I don't think that that's the fault of this adapter. It's just CarPlay in general, when it's wireless, it kind of struggles to toggle between different phones. But one interesting thing about this particular adapter is that it allows you to retain that option of wired CarPlay. So you can actually, plug your phone into the adapter, which goes into the car, and thereby charge your phone and still use CarPlay. And that sounds great in theory, but actually in practice, this is actually probably the worst flaw of this adapter. Basically what happens is when you start your car, it'll try to connect immediately to your phone, and you're like, okay, great. And now I want to charge my phone. Let's say in the middle of your drive, you're like, oh, my battery's kind of low, I want to charge it. So you plug in your phone into the adapter. Well, what it actually does is it reconnects CarPlay with the wired connection, prioritizing over the wireless one. In other words, instead instead of maintaining the wireless CarPlay connection and then just treating this as like a charging cable, it actually treats this as a new CarPlay connection, and that resets the whole thing. And in some cases, if we plugged in the phone too soon after the wireless connection was established, it would actually confuse this device and it would be out of commission for like 10 minutes. My recommendation is that you have one of these things in your car so that way, if you do need to charge your phone while you have the wireless CarPlay going, then it doesn't override the wireless connection and restart the whole thing, and you avoid all of that mess because this thing is totally separate from the wireless CarPlay adapter. So what are my overall thoughts on this wireless CarPlay adapter? Based on my experience with this adapter, as well as a variety of OEM wireless CarPlay systems, I would say that the performance of this device is definitely in the range of those OEM systems, but it's on the lower or the worse than average half of that range, if that makes sense. So, should you buy this for your CX-30 or other Mazda? Well, if plugging in your phone every time you get in your car doesn't bother you, or you like to do that anyway because you like to charge your phone as soon as you get in your car, I would say stick with wired. It'll be far more responsive, the connection will be more reliable, and if you have other people in your car, then it's really easy to just unplug your phone and hand the cable off to somebody else and they can plug in their phone. It's a lot easier to switch between phones is what I'm saying. And my wife falls into that camp. So when she drives this car, she really doesn't mind plugging in her phone. She likes how dependable and how responsive the CarPlay system is with the wired connection. On the other hand, this adapter might be a good fit for you if you really enjoy that idea of, you just get in the car, turn it on, and your phone will just connect. You don't have to do anything. Yes, it takes a little longer, but it'll just do it on its own. I personally like the fact that my phone isn't tied down with a cord. If I go through, say, the Starbucks drive-through, I can pay with my phone, and if I have passengers in the car, I can pass my phone over to someone else to put in directions or change the music without having their phone connect to CarPlay. So I really like that freedom from the cord, and so I fall into the camp that actually does benefit from a wireless adapter. But remember, with this particular adapter, and I suspect with many others as well, a must-have accessory is this 12-volt to USB adapter for charging, because if you want to charge your phone, do not use the USB port on the adapter. It'll just redo the whole connection with CarPlay, and then it's just so clunky, right? You just want the charging to be totally separate from the CarPlay. If you're interested in this specific model of wireless CarPlay adapter, I've put the link in the description below for you guys. I personally don't get anything from the purchase of this device if you choose to buy it, and I spent my own money buying this thing so that I could test it out and review it and share with you guys my unbiased thoughts on what the experience of using this is actually like. If you found this video to be helpful or interesting, if you could hit that like button down below, that would be super helpful for this little growing channel that I've got going on here. And if you've been enjoying my videos and you haven't yet subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button so that you don't miss anything that I have coming out. My name is James, and thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you in the next video. Take care.